If you like money and fantasy football, you're going to love this free offer to make money with DraftStreet.com. In fact, you've got a chance to win my money because I'm running a $300 league today where the top 7 finish in the money. Hi guys, Al DeMarco here, and today you'll be competing against my team and amongst yourselves to win my money. Fantasy sports have changed over the years, making them more lucrative. No more waiting to get paid at the end of the season. With DraftStreet.com, you get instant gratification. Here's the deal. Go to DraftStreet.com right now. Enter this code, DeMarco, my last name. That's going to get you access to my league today. Entry costs absolutely nothing. It's free to play for a shot at winning my money. You have a $100,000 salary cap to draft your team. You've got until the 1 p.m. Eastern Time kickoffs to set your roster, and the winners will be determined when the Monday night game is over. Remember, the top 7 finish in the money with my $300 at stake. Go to DraftStreet.com, use the passcode DeMarco. Build your team now. Welcome back, everyone, to the Countdown to Kickoff show. Al DeMarco here along with Steve Budin. We're going to be taking a look at Carolina, Minnesota in just a second. Remember, if you missed any portion of this show, guys, you can go to the website and you can watch it in its entirety, free of charge as usual. Before we go any further, you just saw the commercial spot for DraftStreet.com. $300 of my money on the line today, and you've got a chance to win it by playing fantasy football at DraftStreet.com. Guys, here's the deal. Top 7 finishers finish in the money. $300, my cash on the line, DraftStreet.com. All you've got to do to enter this free contest is use my last name, DeMarco. That is your entry code, DeMarco over at DraftStreet.com. And I think the thing that we have to tell everybody out there first and foremost is this is not like the old-fashioned fantasy football-like stuff that you're used to.
And that was the big knock from gamblers like me and you and all of our customers is why play fantasy football if you got to wait all year to get your money? We as gamblers, we like instant gratification. Well, that's exactly what you get at DraftStreet.com because every game and every week is a new gambling opportunity, a new action opportunity. So you're going to win or lose based on your picks, based on your selections of the fantasy football players each and every week, and it gives you a chance each and every week to compete. This contest is great, and everyone's been playing it since the beginning. The good news is, if you played it last week or the week before, go ahead and enter it again. You can play it each and every week at DraftStreet.com.
Yeah, I've got lots of $300 bankrolls to give away. We better make even more money on this show. Hey, listen, guys, here's the greatest thing with it. You've got until 1 o'clock Eastern Time here today, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, to finalize your teams. You've got a $100,000 bankroll. You're the general manager. You got to pick a couple of quarterbacks, a couple of running backs, a couple of wide receivers, a tight end. Every player has a different value. As I always like to joke, you know, Tom Brady is worth a little more than Tavares Jackson in this thing. You put it all together. Last week, the username of the winner was Gary4242. Had 185 points. And I love his team selection. I got to tell you. So he took Drew Brees. Oh, that was kind of a good choice, Jerry. You took Tim Tebow. You must have been worried through the first 58 minutes of that game. But this is where he won this contest this week. DeMarco Murray. He took the Cowboys run. What possessed him to take DeMarco? I wish I took DeMarco Murray. 220-some plus yards for the Cowboys, and he had Adrian Peterson who ran for 175.
You got to have a dark horse to win this thing. That's what it's showing you.
Well, and it shows you because you do only have a $100,000 mythical bankroll. So he won it. The second place team, a guy by the name of username, of course I don't know what your real name's, Camp AV15. Finished only 4 points out of first place, but he finished in the money. I think you made a mistake, though. You took Christian Ponder. Took Drew Brees, great move. Christian Ponder, not such a great move. Listen, go to DraftStreet.com again. Use my last name, DeMarco. Enter the contest. Put together your roster. You can do it now. You've got until 1 o'clock Eastern Time here on Sunday to finalize your roster. And again, after the Monday night game, that's when the league is determined, and that's when the money is doled out at DraftStreet.com. Steve, Carolina and Minnesota, I'll tell you what, I am surprised with the way the Panthers keep playing so well that they are only a 3.5-point favorite in this game at home against a Minnesota team that, yeah, they gave the Packers a nice run for their money. Christian Ponder, if you took away that bomb 74-yarder to start off the game, His numbers weren't anything to brag about. A couple of touchdown passes. Carolina's covered 5 out of 6. They showed they could win as a favorite last week, getting the job done against Washington. Very deceiving final score because, they were up big, 30-13 against the Redskins, where the Washington scored a couple of garbage time TDs.
Well, I think if you really look at that Minnesota game, what they did bring was an emotional effort.
Yeah.
They were there and in it, and they were trying to win it. How will that affect them this week coming off that emotional loss against a team with the Panthers, Cam Newton, 5-1 against the spread the last 6. They're riding high. I like Cam in this spot. I think the points are a little cheap because of the way Minnesota played last week against the best team in the league. I think that's why you're seeing such a cheap price here. You got to take advantage of that. Lay the 3.5 with Carolina.
And if this line goes to 4 or if it stays in 3.5, my personal advice would be to go ahead and buy the half point down on the Panthers so you walk away. If it's a 3.5 point line at 3, you walk away with nothing worse than a push if they win it by a field goal. Listen, the Vikings are 3-10-1 against the spread in their last 14 games on the road. Ugh. That's another reason to go ahead and take the Panthers. Another one.
That's a technical term.
Yeah. Another one. Can be applied to this game. My who cares game of the week: New Orleans, St. Louis. Gee, can you make New Orleans a 27-point favorite in this game? Because I think people would lay it. They're not going to win 62-7 again. They may win 52-7. I mean, this St. Louis team is 0-6 against the spread this year, failed to cover 9 of its last 10 games. Injuries all over the place for St. Louis. The only negative is New Orleans been a lousy play on the road. They have only covered 4 of their last 16 road games. They've only covered 3 of their last 11 on the road as a favorite.
And that's what makes this my Viagra special of the week, because you got to wonder, can the New Orleans Saints get up to play another team that's complete garbage? They did it last week. Can they do it this week? I say probably so. They're in the hunt. They're in it to win it. I'm going to go with Drew Breesy for Sheezy and lay the big wood, no pun intended.
Maybe we got to get Viagra as a sponsor of the program. Giants, we already talked about Baltimore, Arizona earlier. Giants in Miami. You've got a Giants team coming off a bye, but they've only covered 3 of their last 12 games against the spread at home. But Eli Manning's having a great year. He's an oft-criticized guy, but he's completing 64% of his passes, nearly 300 yards a game, 11 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. I think 3 of them happened in that one game against Seattle where they were upset at home. Meanwhile, you got a Miami team where you got a head coach that's literally dead man walking with Tony Sparano.
Well, Tim Tebow signed his death certificate last week. That was the nicest thing he could have done for Miami. They're obviously in the suck for luck contest. So I'm going to go with the Giants here, Big Blue, lay the 10 points at home. That's the way to go.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people will say, the Dolphins have covered 18 of their last 26 under Tony Sparano as a road dog. Yeah, guess what? On the road, they've covered 18 of those last 26, but the last 2, they haven't gotten the job done. Remember how pathetic they were in that 24-6 loss against the Jets in the same stadium, the MetLife Stadium, just 2 Mondays ago. I don't see them getting anything done here. They've got a pass defense that is just waiting to be exploited, ranked number 22nd in the league, giving up a completion ratio of about 65% to opposing quarterbacks. 2 interceptions this year for the Dolphins. Secondary has been scorched for 12 touchdowns. That's not the ratio you want in this one. Hey, listen, guys, just a reminder, any portion of the show that you happen to miss, you can catch right here online at our site anytime at your convenience, and it's free of charge. Steve, last game before we take a break, Buffalo and Washington. Bills coming off a bye. This game, of course, in Toronto, where they're 0-3 straight up, 0-2-1 against the spread in regular season play. Laying 6 against a Washington team that really played bad and suffered even more injuries. 34% of their offense. Tim Hightower and Santonio Moss lost now with injuries after being hurt in last week's game with Carolina.
Yeah, Moss is going to hurt him, especially because they got a new quarterback in now with Beck. Bills don't usually like playing in Toronto. I think this will be an exception to that. I think the Redskins are just in complete disarray, and where I thought a team 3 weeks ago was buying into the Shanahan system and looked so good, they've taken a complete left turn off of that plan, and I can't put my money behind them. I'm going with the Bills minus the 6 here.
Yeah, listen, the Bills are 5-1 against the spread off the last 6 times they've had a bye. The negative, I have to be honest, so let's point it out. Their defense, they don't play any. I mean, they're giving up 25 points a game so far this season, and they're 0-2 against the spread. A young team is a favorite this year. Still, I agree with you, though. I think the way to go is Buffalo. Maybe play them in a teaser as well. Listen, guys, we got the premier games coming up. Patriots, Steelers, Dallas, Philadelphia, the Sunday night game. They are coming up after the break. If you're watching on FoxSports.com or national TV, check it out at our website. Countdown to kickoff continues in a minute.